Good morning, everyone. On today's show, guess what? It's finally time to check out Avowed. We have heard so much about this game, positive and negative, over the last several months. It's finally officially in full release today. That's right, you don't have to pay a fortune to play it early anymore. And so we're going to be checking it out, and I'm excited for this. But before we get to that, this morning, breaking news literally happened like 15 minutes ago. One of the most bizarre stories I think I have ever covered here on the show and I've ever heard in the gaming industry. A game that is literally crushing it right now in revenue and player numbers has just laid off its entire dev team. We'll get to the bottom of this and more on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo!
Alrighty, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of February, 2025. I'm DSP, and with me today is Jasper Kitty, but he's on the floor down here. If he decides to jump up and, actually show off on stream like he tends to do, that would be nice. I'm sure at some point he'll probably get up and walk around a bit. Anyway, I hope that you're all in good spirits, and I hope that you're ready for a chill show today. We're going to get some updates on various game playthroughs that I'm doing. Call of Duty, as well as Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which concluded yesterday. I'll give you an update on how we're doing with our goals for the week and how we're actually getting quite close to a big reward, which is excellent. And of course, I'm excited because today is the premiere of Avowed, a game that we've heard so much about from various different sources. And I'm interested to see how good it is or isn't. But for me, the big thing today that literally just happened, that's going to be a huge chunk of our show, is that, ladies and gentlemen, Marvel Rivals. That is right. One of the biggest games of the last several years. Overwatch killer / copier that is crushing player numbers on Steam and making money hand over fist in microtransactions, has laid off its entire dev team. So we've been having all of these stories over the last year about, games, if they don't do well, basically it's like make or break because studios are closing and people are getting laid off. And it's like, okay, well, at least some of these games are doing well, right? Well, guess what? It doesn't even matter if the game does well. Apparently, the games industry is such a tumultuous industry right now that you can still lose your job even if you make an insanely good game. And you might say, this can't be true. This is an exaggeration. We will cover it today. It was breaking news. As I was setting up this stream, it broke. And I was like, I gotta cover this because I've never seen this happen before in my 16 years as a creator, in my 42 years on this planet. I have never actually heard of something in business doing incredibly well, succeeding and making tons of money, and then everyone losing their jobs as a result. Not once. So I guess we're going to see. Let's talk, okay? But before we get to that, we have many other things to discuss. First of all, you may be saying, what is with this psychedelic light show on the podcast? Well, if you don't know, Avowed is our big new release for today. It's the first of 4 straight new releases that we'll be covering this week. That's right. Today it's Avowed. Tomorrow it's Lost Records. Thursday, it's Fatal Fury City of the Wolves beta. And on Friday, it's Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So 4 straight days of new release content. And Avowed is an incredibly colorful game. I believe that one of the things in one of the plots in the game is that there's some kind of a curse or an infection or a rot, but it's like colorful. So you may have noticed that in all of the artwork and everything for the game, that it has this like crazy rainbow color scheme. And I said, I'm just going to go crazy today with a rainbow color scheme of RGBs. So I hope that you like it. If it's too unbearable, let me know. We can change it, or I could actually make it not be as bright because I think the lights perhaps are a little bit too bright for this. Maybe I should lower them. Um, but yeah, pretty crazy. What's going on today in gaming news? So I wanted to cover that. You know what? I am going to lower these lights a tiny bit. I think they're a little too bright. Let me let's see here. Here we go. We'll go like this. We'll do that. We'll do that. And we will do that. Okay. Let's see how this looks now. Little better, little less intense. It was a little too intense around me. I looked like I was nuclear glowing. It looks a little better now. I just lowered the intensity of all the lights. There we go. Okay, good stuff. Um, so hope that you guys are excited to chill today. It's a good day. So what's on the schedule? Let's talk about the agenda for the week because now the week is starting to really come together. So yesterday we had a major stream of Black Ops 6 that was really good. And then we had the conclusion of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and I'm sure I'll recap those during the stream here. But that's it for those this week. I don't have time to play Black Ops 6 again this week with all the new releases coming out that we're going to be covering. So that's it for the week. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I had a lot of fun, not only sniping with the SVD sniper rifle, which actually I would argue is nearly as good as the AMR mod 4, which is what I was trying to unlock attachments for. So what didn't feel crappy having to be using the other sniper rifle, it was still pretty good. And I'm actually getting much better on mouse and keyboard with the sniping. Like I was doing really well with it. I was shocked how good I was doing. But then I went crazy with the drill. I actually had the drill as a melee weapon. I was running around drilling people in the face. You put the drill to their head and you zip it in their chin, and then they die instantly. It's pretty brutal. So that was a lot of fun. Yesterday. Okay. Did we hit the goal on that stream? No, we didn't. We got about halfway to the goal. But I'm not disappointed. Every single time that I play Black Ops 6, it's up, down, and left, right, and hit or miss. You never know what's going to happen with that. Sometimes we get a ton of people showing up, engaging and supporting, and other times we don't. It just seems to be all over the place. But the thing is, and this is the truth of the matter, some people have said to me, Phil, it doesn't consistently bring in numbers and it doesn't consistently hit your goals. So why do you keep playing Black Ops 6 so much? Like you play it at least once a week, if not twice or more. And the answer is very simple because now that I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, I am genuinely enjoying getting back into first person shooters. Despite the fact that I don't think that Call of Duty is super amazing like it was back in the day, I'm seriously having a ton of fun. Like, just watch me play yesterday and watch me get something going with the sniper rifle, and I'm like, badoom, badoom, just taking people out left and right. It gives you that rush of endorphins or whatever, when you feel accomplished because I'm doing it on mouse and keyboard. I'm not on a gamepad with snapping auto aim and quick scoping bullshit. I'm actually playing legit on the right controls you're supposed to play the game on, and I'm actually doing well. It makes me feel good to feel like I'm earning the kills and the like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I had a great time yesterday, and I'm going to continue to play Call of Duty, even if it doesn't bring in the numbers or support that I would hope for. I still like it. You know what I mean? Like people say, play what you like. Well, I am actually liking Black Ops 6 because the mouse and keyboard has made it feel more fun and fresh for me. So I'm going to keep it in the rotation. Okay? Last night, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black concluded. Took a little over an hour. And I figured that's what it would take because we only had 2 chapters left. There was a big marathon of bosses at the end there. The only thing I would say that was a little weird is that there was a little bit of dragging on with some platforming that was completely unnecessary. At the end, didn't really need it. But it was fun. The end of the game was good. And when it wrapped up, what I basically summarized for everyone was this is a kind of game that it didn't attempt to be something full-blown crazy. It didn't try to add insane amounts of side content or anything. It reminds me of the era of God of War, Devil May Cry, and that's a good thing. Back before games were overly complicated and convoluted and had $400 million budgets, they actually would be fun and be to the point. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is exactly that. It doesn't try to pretend to be something else. It doesn't have to hit any check marks or quotas to qualify to be a good game. It's just a bunch of combat with a silly story, some fun boss fights, and great visuals. An era of games that we've basically forgot about, I feel. Because now today, any game that comes out has to have insane amounts of content, right? And this game doesn't really care about that. It just wants it to be fun. So I really enjoyed it. All right. Um, and by the way, is it easy? Yes. This is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. It's based off Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma, which is a different version of Ninja Gaiden 2 that was made easier and more accessible so more people could play the game. The original Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 were incredibly difficult, so a lot of people complained they were too hard and didn't like them. So eventually they released these other versions of the game. I played it on normal difficulty and it was easy. All right. Now, would the game have been more rewarding if it was on a harder difficulty? Maybe. But I already played difficult games that I want rewards from. It's called FromSoft. So since I already have my franchise that I like to be challenged on, I don't need it in every game either. So it was actually a rewarding experience to play a game that didn't kick me in the balls every 5 seconds, but I still had fun and had a lot of cool visuals and things like that. Like, to be honest, being a easy to play, high octane, gory combat action ride worked. I actually feel like if Ninja Gaiden 2 Black were significantly more difficult, it wouldn't have been as good of a game for me because I didn't want that. I didn't want a game to kick me in the balls every 5 seconds. I wanted something different for variety. And maybe what it is back in the day, keep in mind, these games came out around or before the time when FromSoft was becoming prominent. So maybe these were known as the more difficult games, right? Before FromSoft took up that mantle. But now FromSoft is dominant in that space, so we don't need this game to be difficult, in my opinion. You can disagree, and by the way, you can easily select a harder difficulty and make it harder for yourself if that's the experience you're looking for. I wasn't looking for that. I liked it as is. Okay? So, in regards to this week, let's talk about everything you guys can expect. First off, today's the premiere of Avowed. First entire gameplay stream will be Avowed. I've got it preloaded here on my gaming PC, and I'm ready to go. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. I've heard so many differing opinions on this game. Some people actually think it's really good. Others say it's actually really bad. And when you hear those weird split of opinion, something's up. There's no way it could be great and bad at the same time. So I'm curious to see as we play it today, what we think, because what I think may not jive with what you think or vice versa. We'll have to see who likes it, who doesn't, if maybe none of us like it or we all like it. I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear and we're going to see for ourselves what it's like. Okay. Hopefully it performs well on PC. You would hope that on this gaming PC, it's going to run beautifully. I hope, right? I guess we'll find out. I am literally in a boot loop for Ubisoft Connect. I'm not even kidding you. You keep saying your version of Ubisoft Connect is outdated. If it persists, contact Ubisoft support. So I hit OK, and then it says initializing, and then it just does the same thing again. And I try to exit out, and it pops up again. I want to have to Control-Alt-Delete the fucking thing. Because the thing is, I'm not opening Ubisoft Connect, but it's linked with the Xbox app. So if you have the Xbox app, this pop-up keeps coming up. What a bunch of morons. Anyway, so we're going to play Avowed today, and I'm excited for that. See what it's like and go from there. All right. Tonight on the late stream, it is Smart Guys, my pro wrestling commentary show with my co-host PPP over on the DSP Reacts channel. That'll be around 7 p.m. Pacific time, running about 2 hours. And also on my Kick channel. Okay. And it's going to be about Monday Night Raw this week. Watched it last night, and I'll be honest with everybody. All right. Monday Night Raw right now is kind of just treading water. And what I mean by that is they don't have a lot to do right now. They're kind of really waiting for the next big pay-per-view event, Elimination Chamber, which is in like 2 weeks. So because of that, it's kind of like filler content. All right, it is. So I'm not expecting too much crazy stuff to come from tonight's show because there just isn't that much going on. The show wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of meh. We had talked about possibly watching NXT because NXT did this like event this week, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. So because of that, I can't really, we can't comment on it. So sucks that that I didn't get a chance to do it because maybe we would have had something else to talk about, but it is what it is. So tonight, straightforward commentary show about Monday Night Raw over on DSP Reacts and on the Kick channel. Okay. Tomorrow, back to full-time gaming. The first stream tomorrow will be Lost Records, episode 1. Apparently, it's for free on PS Plus, which I didn't realize. I have PS Plus Basic, but is it on there, or do I have to get, like, the higher end? See, I don't know, it's not clear. So I'm either gonna buy it or I'm going to get it off of PS Plus, whatever it is. So Lost Records, the new episodic game from Don't Nod, and it follows the formula of previous Don't Nod games, like Life is Strange back in the day, where it's gonna be episodic, okay? And it'll be interesting to check out. I don't know if it's gonna be good. Lost Records, it could be great, it could not be great. It's about a bunch of teenagers in the 1990s, but I think it leads into some kind of like a mystery story. Um, so we're gonna give it a shot, and we're gonna see if it's good. And if it's not good, then we maybe not won't continue with it when the other episodes come out. We'll see. The way I'm looking at it is this. Life is Strange when it first came out didn't seem like it was gonna be any good. It was about a bunch of angsty teens, right? And you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be cringe." And actually, I treated it like that. Like, I was the commentary and everything, but then all of a sudden, it exploded with this crazy murder mystery plot with superpowers. I was like, "This is so intriguing. Where are they gonna go with this?" And then the first game ended up being quite good. Like, I really did like Life is Strange 1. I thought they did a great job with it. Now, the future games, not so much. For example, Life is Strange 2 is probably one of the worst games I've ever played. But then they did some good things like True Colors and then the recent Double Exposure were both pretty good. So I'm curious what they're going to do with this. All right, we're going to give that a shot tomorrow. It's only one episode, so we'll see what that is. Tomorrow night, we'll do some more Avowed. All right, so we'll give Avowed a couple streams before we make an utter judgment of do we want to keep playing it as a playthrough or do we want to just dump it, okay? Thursday. I'm excited for Thursday because it is the premiere of Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, the new Fatal Fury game. There hasn't been a new Fatal Fury game in like 20 years. So I'm very excited to see what they do with this franchise. And it's the open beta, so I'll be playing that on the first stream. And then the late stream on Thursday, we're going to wrap up Onimusha Warlords, of which there's only about an hour left. So it's going to be similar to what happened with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, where we're going to take the time to wrap it up on that late stream. And then Friday, the premiere of Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii on the first stream. And the late stream will do more of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, okay? Now you might say, well, I thought you were on the fence about Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I am. I still am. I'm still trying to get your feedback from everyone here about if I'm going to be doing this game or not. Again, I want to. I want to play Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I want to be able to do an awesome playthrough for you. All right? But I just don't know if people are going to show up and engage in support with this game. I would hope so. And a lot of people are saying to me, you should just play it anyway, regardless of the fact of if people show up. But the point is, I'm a public streamer. This is my content for the internet for public consumption as a product that you enjoy and hopefully you reciprocate with contributions. That's my business model. It doesn't make sense for me to make content that I know the vast majority of my audience doesn't want and that no one's going to support. You get it? And even if it's at the expense of me not enjoying a game. Like this happened with Metaphor last year, where I know I would have loved Metaphor. I know it. 100% I would have played and enjoyed it. But I'm not really afforded the free opportunity to just play whatever I want. I need to have people show up and support. And with Metaphor, I played it for 12 hours. I gave it 12 hours of a chance, and people wouldn't show up. So what else can I do, right? It's a challenging decision to make. I still haven't 100% decided yet. I'm thinking about if I should play it this Friday or not. So I'll let you know. And please continue to give me your feedback. All right? Please. I want feedback on this, but I am definitely leaning towards playing it because I really want to. See here. Here it is. Okay. I wanted to see what it was and what the versions were. So it's $60 for the regular version, $75 for the deluxe, but it's digital deluxe. It probably just comes with an outfit or the soundtrack or something, which I don't care about. So, okay. All right. Well, something to think about, right? Over the course of the week. All right. Before we get to the major subject at hand, which obviously is this whole Marvel Rivals layoff situation, which I quite frankly cannot believe. All right, I really can't. Um, let us talk about uh some contributions that I received. We'll do some shout outs and let's talk about the goals. And let's talk about where we are right now and some ideas that people have had, your goals, which I'm okay with. And then we'll jump into the topic. All right. So a couple shout outs to start off with. We start off today with a $3.66 tip from Flatman B, who says, "What's up, everyone? I hope everyone is well. Spread the peace and love. Thank you very much." Or actually, he said, "Spread the love, peace." If he said, "Spread the peace and love," he would sound like Ringo Starr. But a lot of you probably don't even get that reference. Um, all right. Thank you, Flatman B, for starting with the contributions today and for the very positive message there. $3.88 tip. Thank you very much, Flatman. I take that back. It was a $3.66 tip. I was off by 22 cents. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And I received a generous $20 tip this morning. Thank you very much, whoever this is. Let's take a look. Well, first, let's play a nice animation. No? Thank you so much to the anonymous $20 tipper. Okay. So the anonymous $20 tipper says the following. You've been dealing with a lot of BS, and I'm hoping this contribution will give you a nice positive start to your first stream of the day. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It was short, it was sweet, it was to the point, it was positive, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you, thank you. Okay. And then we have James. Just became a channel member. Our first membership of the day. Thank you so much to James. Didn't say anything in the message, though. That counts for $3. It's up 26 so far, so a solid start to our stream. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit now that we got those shouted out. Where are we right now? Okay. Um, where are we right now? Well, we are at 17 out of 20 goals hit. All right. We've got good momentum. We've already this week, since I've been back on Sunday, we've hit 3 goals. Okay. Which is good. Think about it. I streamed Sunday and Monday. That was 4 streams. We hit 3 goals. That's pretty darn good ratio. All right. What is the reward coming up? The reward is McDonald's DSP Tries It, Shamrock Shake, plus a few other things. Some people have said, well, I tried that Angel Reese meal if you really want me to, unless there's something else that we can agree that I should get instead. I'm not sure, but at the very least, it's the Shamrock Shake that's the focus of this DSP Tries It, right? This is a shake that I've never had in recent memory. I had it a long time ago, and I don't remember liking it at all. Like, I don't ever remember liking a McDonald's shake ever. I don't think they were very good, but I haven't had one in so long. Maybe it would be different today. I don't know. Okay. So that's kind of the focus, but then we're going to get other stuff too. All right. For the record, okay. FYI, the McDonald's DSP Tries It that I did many months ago, which featured the chicken Big Mac, the McDouble, the chicken nuggets, and a fillet of fish. Now, I tried 4 things during this McDonald's DSP Tries It, was the most viewed DSP Tries It that I've done since I brought the series back, getting over 3,000 views. All the other episodes that I've done only have between maybe 1 to 2,000 views. So you might say, I don't get it. Why did McDonald's get so many views? Nothing you even just mentioned sounded that interesting. Because it's McDonald's. See, this is what people don't understand about DSP Tries It. The reason a lot of people have always liked the series is because when I do it, you can then go somewhere that I tested the food from and try it for yourself. For example, I just did the Arby's DSP Tries It. And when I was doing the Arby's DSP Tries It, I tried the Arby's cheeseburger, which a lot of people didn't even know Arby's had. And it blew me away with how good it was. And I'm not kidding you, like 5 to 7 people, I think it was like 6, 7 people, all sent me pictures saying, I went to Arby's right after you, and that burger is freaking good. So that's the appeal of doing a DSP tries it when we go to like a fast food place that's close to you that you could probably get for yourself is that you hear my ratings and then maybe you go check it out for yourself after. Okay. If I do DSP tries it on a small local business out here that no one's heard of, it doesn't have the same impact. Take a look at the videos where I do that, where I try food that's not a major chain. It doesn't have nearly as much interest. You get it? So that's why ESP Tries It has been working when I try Taco Bell or Wendy's because it's a big chain. Get it? I know that it's not always fun to do a chain. And I agree that it gets very boring, especially when these places don't have anything new to test. Okay. But I haven't done the Shamrock Shake in so many years. I'm excited for it. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope that you guys are interested in it. All right. And by the way, I apologize. Zimmer P. Flans actually gifted a sub over on Kick, and I forgot to shout it out. Thank you to Zimmer. Let's get Zimmer on the leaderboard. That's another $5 to support this morning. Thank you, Zimmer. Sorry that I took so long to get it on there. My fault. Okay. So, we're at 17 out of 20. I'm excited to hit 20 and do the DSP tries it. By the end of today's show, I owe you guys another Turkish treat because we actually did hit a goal yesterday. And I was going to do it on last night's late stream, and I totally forgot. It just completely slipped my mind. So we will do one of these by the end of this stream. I'll actually put the box right here so that I can remember to do it. Unless that's distracting to you, then I'll move it. You let me know if that's distracting to you or not, all right? That way it'll remind me to do it. Now, in regards to future rewards and DSP tries it, people were already brainstorming over the last day about what the next couple could be. So one of the ways that we could do it, people said, what about Panda Express? Now, for those who don't even know what Panda Express is, it's kind of a joke, let's be honest. Panda Express is an Americanized chain of fast food restaurants. They claim, just listen to this, they claim that they are gourmet Chinese food. All right. I would find it hard pressed and a big stretch to say that anything inside of a Panda Express actually is reminiscent of real Chinese food. It is 100% Americanized, mass produced slop. All right. Just to make this very clear, it's not authentic Japanese food in any way, shape, or form. All right. I used to know people who worked at Panda Express. Okay. So I can tell you exactly how it works. You ready for this? The vast majority of food that they sell is frozen. Comes in mass frozen. Okay. They thaw it out. And it comes in like big bags or containers, and they thaw it out in water. They put it into like a water container to thaw it out. All right. Then they proceed to add sauce, seasoning. They do add some fresh veggies to certain ones. They actually have some fresh veggies they bring in every day, and they chop them up in the morning or whatever. And they basically do some basic prep, and they toss all this food into big giant metal trays, heater trays. Think if you go to a buffet or if you go to a wedding where they have a buffet style meal, okay? And all they do is they put it up in their front area, the front of the store, so you can see the food, and then you order what you want. So what do they have? Things such as teriyaki chicken, orange chicken, honey walnut, cashew, shrimp, a couple kinds of beef. Like they'll probably have like the beef and broccoli and another kind of beef, very, very fast foodie. And all you do is you order it and they take one of those trays. What is it? One of those plastic containers, and they just scoop it right in. Here, oh, you wanted your orange chicken? Oh, you want a teriyaki chicken? What do you want for your side? Fried rice, white rice, chow mein, or some vegetables. And you tell them, and say, oh, okay, here's your meal, done. Nothing's fresh. They do it all in batches. Okay. Now, from the employees that I know used to work there. All right. I actually had a friend, a good friend in the Street Fighter community, who was like the manager of a Panda Express. Okay. And he basically told me the following. All right. You can get really good food at Panda Express as soon as it's fresh, but it has to be fresh. When they make it fresh, it legit tastes great and it's not that bad. But the problem is with Panda Express, much like all of these other buffet places or heat lamp places, okay? Once they make the batch, they put it out under the heat lamp and it just sits there overcooking all day long, and they're instructed to sell to the end. So they're not supposed to say, "Oh, that's overcooked because it was in the light all day. Take it away and bring up another batch." They're supposed to sell it all. So that's the problem is, you have to wonder whenever you get Panda Express, are you getting the fresh? Are you getting something that's been out there for 7 hours? You don't know, right? What was popular today? Who knows? And I'll tell you a quick story. So years ago, all right, my wife was going out to lunch at one of her jobs that she's had over the years, and she went out with a coworker, and they just happened to go to Panda Express, okay? And she got the orange chicken, and she said she went to eat it, and when she put it in her mouth, it was literally like tough, like shoe leather, like no lie, like it was so hard and chewy that you couldn't really eat it. She only ate like 2 pieces of it and said, "I can't eat it." And then she proceeded to get sick and have food poisoning all day from this way overcooked chicken. So she had the bad luck of having probably the chicken that was made in the morning, sat under the heat lamp all day. They didn't put out the new batch yet. So she got this ancient, uh, you know, chicken and it got her sick. Since then, I'm not kidding you. She has not ever wanted to eat Panda Express ever again, and that was, like, shit, 5 years ago, and I don't blame her. If you had a bad experience and got food poisoning from one of these places, why would you wanna eat it again, okay? So the reason that I'm bringing this up is because people said, "Do you wanna do Panda Express for DSP Tries It?" I wouldn't say no. Like, I personally haven't had Panda Express since I've been out here in Washington for 11 years. The last time I ate Panda Express was probably in my local food court at a mall in Connecticut in my 20s, okay? So I wouldn't be opposed to trying it again, but certainly hearing the story from my wife, I'm not exactly expecting that much. And the thing is, we have tried Chinese food. If you look about a month ago when I did my marathon of Rage plus Retro, which became a Mega Man marathon, I actually ordered some more local Chinese food made by a local place, not a chain, and it was basically Panda Express plus plus plus. Like it was a big step up from that. Um, and it was very good, but people didn't really enjoy the video that much. They were like, it's just Chinese food. I'm like, yeah. So I think if anything, if I were to do Panda Express for DSP Tries It, the gimmick would be, is it good or am I going to get sick because my wife got sick like 5 years ago from it? Right? So I guess we'll see. Um, do we want to do that for the next goal for 30 goals hit? Could. All right. Now there's another idea someone had. They said, "Are you aware, kind of leaning off of your idea that you're trying the Shamrock Shake at McDonald's next, are you aware that Wendy's next week, I think starting this weekend, is doing a collaboration with the Girl Scouts of America, okay? They are going to have a thin mint flavored cookie shake. For those who don't know, the Girl Scouts of America is I believe it's a non-for-profit. I could be wrong though. It's an organization for girls, uh, you know, to do kinds of hobbies and activities and to learn some life skills and things like that. Some of it's like survival skills, but some of it's like arts and crafts and things like that. I think some of it's like outdoorsy stuff too. It's like the equivalent of Boy Scouts, but it's for girls. Um, but they always uh sell cookies every single year to fundraise. Thin Mints is one where it's dark chocolate with a mint center. Um, there's what do they got? Um, what are the ones with the coconut? Those are really good. The ones with the coconut in them, but I can't remember what the name of the coconut ones are. But I like those. Um, among other things, they have like 10 different like classic flavors that they sell. So to see them team up with Wendy's to make a actual shake is kind of interesting. I wonder like what they're getting out of it. Are they are they like getting a big are they paying to do this or are they getting paid to do this? I wonder. Anyway, so apparently starting this weekend, heading into next week, they're doing this collaboration. So that could be something to do where I get the Thin Mint Shake, and that's a test, but also I can get other things from Wendy's. Last time I got that mushroom burger and their new taco salad, and they sucked ass. It was really bad. So maybe this time just get something more typical from Wendy's, something not so weird, but maybe just get like a classic combo or something. See what they have on the menu and just pick something and do a taste test of it. Because I haven't really just tasted their regular stuff in ages, right? So maybe we could do that. Um, so those are the two ideas, okay, for the next DSP tries it when we hit 30 goals. I don't know if you think Panda Express would sound better, or I don't know if the Wendy's with the Thin Mint Shake and trying some various things off the menu would sound better. I'd love your opinions. I'd love your feedback. Please share your opinions and feedback because it means a lot to me to get that kind of feedback and information. Okay? Cool. All right. Another shout out here. I don't know. Someone's tipping $1.50 and saying, I know Panda Express cooks in a wok and everything's fresh. It's completely false. It sits under a heat lamp for hours. Like, don't you love it when people just got to contradict me? Right? Like, no, well, no, because Phil said that, even though people know that Panda Express isn't fresh, because you can literally walk in the store and see the food sitting under the heat lamp for hours on end. I'm just going to try to contradict him anyway with a tip. Good for you. Thanks for your money. Okay. Anyway, so we are currently at 17 out of 20. All right, guys. Today on this very stream with the premiere of Avowed, let's hit a goal. Let's do it. All right. So right now, we got some tips. We got a new membership with James, and thank you, James, for that. Appreciate that. Let's get some subs. We got one sub. Let's get some more over there on Kick. How about some super chats? We don't have any super chats yet today, right? So let's get some variety going. Remember, contribute to my stream. I'll give you a shout out. I'll throw you up there on a leaderboard if you are one of the top contributors of the stream. And I thank everyone in advance for any contributions. Really appreciate that. And thanks for supporting the channel and all my efforts to make content for you guys every single day. Remember, you allow me to do what I love for a living, man. You really do. And I appreciate that. I enjoy this job more than any other job I've ever had, right? Making positive content and having a great time with you guys every single day. All right. So anyway, so yesterday, on a whim last night, someone had asked in the Kick chat, hey, would you bring back some of those deals that you were doing at the end of January for subs? And I said, well, what do you mean? This is the badge deals because, you haven't offered them now in a few weeks. And I said, oh, all right. So what I was doing was for 25 subs, get the VIP and the OG badge together. Get a 2-for-1 deal, meaning you get these badges next to your name in Kick Chat to show that you're an earlier supporter of my content, okay? Or I made another deal because someone said, well, I just want to do the VIP badge. I don't really care about the OG badge right now. It's too pricey for me, but can you maybe knock it down a notch? I said, well, how about this? If you gift 10 subs, I'll give you the VIP badge. All right. So I am going to extend that just for today, since today is the premiere of Avowed, and we may get some people who are interested in that. All right. Just for the Avowed stream only. 10 subs will get you the VIP badge. 25 subs will get you the OG badge and the VIP badge. And something else to remember, because people liked this, is that you can gift those to other chatters. Maybe you have a friend in the chat or someone who, is a nice person who you just want to be nice to, friendly to. If you gift some subs, you can give them the badge instead of you. You can actually do that because people have done that already. Okay? So, there you have it. And make it 5 subs per badge. No, that's not enough. I'm sorry. I can't go all the way down to 5 subs, especially when we've had people who've done the full amount. That would devalue it a lot. Like, that wouldn't really be fair. Those who had to do like 20, 25 subs to get them, and then people are getting them for 5. Like I said, I'm splitting it. I'm discounting it. All right. So here you go. So 10 subs, VIP. 25 subs, VIP and OG. And, you can gift them to other people if you would like. Okay, so we're doing that just for this stream. After that, it goes back to normal. Okay. Alrighty. So there we go. We've covered everything I wanted to cover. Now it's time for the big story. All right. Now, I can't believe this story. I really can't believe this story. Okay. Um, so let's talk about today's big story. Are you ready for this? Ladies and gentlemen, as of this morning, the makers of Marvel Rivals are not employed. Well, some of them. Allow me to explain this story. First off, if you're not aware, Marvel Rivals is a team based hero shooter that just came out full fledged in December. All right. It is free to play, but it is powered by micro transactions. All right. If you're not aware, you might say, well, what does that mean? Um, well, basically, you don't have to pay to play it, but you can buy skins, you can accelerate unlocks and things like that by paying money. Okay. And that formula works well with many different games as a service in the industry. All right. A lot of people thought this game was going to fail. They said it's not original enough. It's too much like Overwatch. Okay. But the opposite has happened. All right. Basically, in a market that's already kind of saturated, Marvel Rivals brought in an IP that people wanted, Marvel characters that aren't overdone and ruined yet. Um, and kind of have a unique spin on the characters in a lot of cases. Um, and a good variety of gameplay. There's a ton of heroes in the game. And by the way, all the heroes are playable now. There is no required grind in order to play as the heroes. You could pick any hero you want as soon as they're released. Or I think that was a key flaw in the business model of multiverses, and why multiverses didn't work and is now shutting down is because they had these characters hidden behind a play or paywall. And Marvel Rivals hasn't done that, and that's a good thing. Since it released in December, Marvel Rivals has seen hundreds of thousands of players concurrently playing it on Steam, and it has been making record numbers of profits through its microtransactional formula. At least that's what we've been told, okay, or led to believe. Um, and so for a game that is going to be releasing new characters, it just released 2 Fantastic Four characters. It's got more on the way, and it seems to be very healthy right now. Okay, the news that came out this morning is shocking and jaw dropping, and leaving people scratching their heads, wondering what the heck is going on. All right. To make things clear, Marvel Rivals is owned by a company called NetEase. NetEase, before Marvel Rivals, was primarily known as a mobile games company, and it is based in China. I believe it's actually owned by the Tencent investment company. Okay. So this isn't their first game. This isn't the first thing that they've done. And they are a company that tends to outsource work. All right. And I think this is a key component of today's story that we need to make clear. Today, we're going to talk about that a Marvel Rivals dev team based out of Seattle, Washington, which is literally 40 minutes away from where I'm living right now, okay, has been completely laid off. The main game director and the entire dev team based in Seattle, Washington. You might say, wait, what? Marvel Rivals, a game that is doing incredibly well, a game that is bringing in players and numbers. Why would it be suffering layoffs? Okay, is this a problem with the industry? What's going on right now? Well, if you dive a little deeper, all right, you'll get a little bit more information. First of all, let's actually read this post from Thaddeus Sasser. I help create billion-dollar franchises. He says, this is such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games, and we were just laid off. Oh, well, times are tough all over. Let's find these incredible people new jobs because we need to eat, right? And basically, it's a big post where he's talking about different people who are working on his team who he's trying to get jobs, all right? And then over here, there's Jack Burrows, level designer for Marvel Rivals. And he says, "Hey, folks, I just got laid off from my job working on Marvel Rivals with NetEase. It was an enormous pleasure to work with my American coworkers who joined me in this sad culling. Just couldn't dodge the boot, I guess, no matter how big of the success of the gig. So now I'm seeking a new role and would appreciate your support. If you have any opportunities, let me know." Okay. So this announcement is baffling people. Wait, isn't the game doing numbers? Do really well at your job? Well, you're out. This industry sucks. Wow, but I heard nothing but good things about this one. I really hope that this means hero shooters or shooters in general aren't being phased out. But what the heck? The game is doing crazy numbers. Okay. So, for the record, because there is some misinformation being reported in this story. All right. So, you must understand the true story here. All right. This is not the entire dev team of Marvel Rivals. All right. This was one of the outsourced companies that were hired to do level design for Marvel Rivals. Okay. Now, they did a good job, obviously, because I haven't heard many people complaining about the level design of Marvel Rivals, right? And wow, these are great levels. This game is good. This is why people are hooked, right? Excellent. So why now are they out of a job? Well, here's the thing about the games industry that a lot of people don't realize is that unless you are actually owned by a publisher, okay, you're no guarantee that you're going to have an ongoing job or source of employment. So, for example, Rockstar owns a whole bunch of divisions, right? There's Rockstar Montreal, Rockstar North, Rockstar this, there's a bunch of them. And they all work on different aspects of different Rockstar games. They're all under the umbrella. But perhaps Rockstar would decide to hire an outside studio to handle certain parts of work on a certain game, but that doesn't ensure or guarantee that that studio is going to continue to receive employment from Rockstar. All right. If you're actually purchased or acquired by one of these major publishers, chances are your job will be secure. And this has actually happened over the years where a company that was hired to either make a game or make a part of a game did such a good job that that studio then decided to make a long term investment in them and actually buy them and put them under their umbrella as part of the industry, you see? So here's the thing about Marvel Rivals, all right? This game actually had a lot of controversy around it, okay? When the game was actually in development, there were people coming out saying, my work has been stolen. And people were like, what? Apparently, this China based company, NetEase, all right, was having people audition to make parts of the game. So they would, hey, can you make a design of this character? Can you make an animation of this character? Can you do that? And then they would say, okay, thanks for your attempt, but we decided not to hire you to be part of the team. But then as the game advanced, they were looking, they were like, wait a minute, that's my work. It's in the game. But they didn't hire me. Now, whether or not these stories are true or not, it can't really be confirmed, right? How do you confirm or deny? It's just hearsay. But these weird things were already kind of being said about NetEase while the game was already in development. And what I find is funny is the game came out and then you didn't hear these stories anymore. So did they have any merit? Who knows, right? Maybe it was just disgruntled people who were angry they didn't get hired and they made the shit up. Or maybe NetEase actually is a scumbag company, right? Like, who knows? You can't really confirm or verify that when you hear this stuff in the industry, right? You just hope it's not true. You hope they're not some kind of a company of thieves ripping off people and not paying them for their work, correct? Now, in regards to today's news story, if you actually read deeper into the story, okay, what you'll understand is that this group of game devs based in Seattle are not owned by NetEase. All right, they're not. They were under contract to be level designers for Marvel Rivals. They designed the stages for Marvel Rivals. They provided the work. Then they did some follow-up work. They tweaked the stages and stuff like that, right? Over the course of the game launching and everything. But now the game's been live for about 2 months, all right? And now that it's been live for 2 months, they probably aren't needed anymore, at least in regards to the levels that they've designed. Once you get the work to a certain level, right? You've already handed it off to essentially who's going to be the team that follows up. I'll give you an example here, okay? I used to work for a helicopter company, okay? And it was called Helicopter Support Inc. We were the aftermarket support for Sikorsky helicopters. Sikorsky was a major company that manufactured the helicopters, okay? But after they were manufactured, that's where their work stopped and where our work began. After those helicopters were sold to a company, those operators of the helicopters wouldn't go back to Sikorsky, they would go to us. And we would facilitate if you needed a part repaired, a part replaced, if you were having issues, you needed maintenance on that helicopter. We were the ones who handled all of that as a separate company from those who produced the base product. You see? So basically, this team, this Seattle team, was the base product developer that were hired to develop the stages for Marvel Rivals. But once the base product is done, now another team is likely going to be doing the aftermarket follow-up, maintenance, improvement, etc., the maintaining of the game. So unless they're going to plan on continuously developing new stages for the long term, this team isn't needed anymore. Therefore, their contract gets terminated and done. Okay? Now, you might say, well, that's shitty. Well, it is. These guys and gals did a great job with the stage design of Marvel Rivals. I actually like the stages that I played in Marvel Rivals. I think they're well designed. Okay. I can't even think, with the time that I played it that I can even really complain about the stages. They're pretty good. I would argue there's more wonkiness to movement of characters and stuff than the stages are good. But sadly, this is the industry, right? You work your butt off, you design great parts of a game, and you hope, fingers crossed, arms crossed, toes crossed, legs crossed. We did a great job. Hopefully, this means they're going to hire us full time. Maybe they'll acquire us and put us as part of their long term plans of the studio because the game's such a hit. Well, it didn't happen. Okay. And it's disappointing to hear that, especially when it's our American brethren based in Seattle, Washington versus another dev team that's all the way over in China who you'll probably never meet and talk to, and you won't have that personal attachment to because, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different, right? So I get it. I totally get it. I do. A game is doing well. A game is smashing it, crushing it in the numbers. Why on earth would you lay off workers now, right? Well, that's the industry. They did their jobs, they fulfilled their contracts, the levels are fine, and they're going to have another team now do the aftermarket support, maintenance, whatever you want to call it on the game, so they're no longer needed. Now, perhaps, let's say in 6 months, they decide they're going to do a season 2 expansion for Marvel Rivals, which is going to be a major overhaul of the game, and they're going to add in 10 new stages to extend the length of the game as a live service game. Maybe they would go back and they would rehire these people. It's a possibility, but I will agree with this, at least to this extent. It's sad that people did a great job. Their game is selling, or not selling, but making big numbers and making money because it doesn't sell because it's a free to play game, but it is bringing in big revenues, right? It sucks to now hear that the people who did that great job are now losing their jobs. But at the same time, I think this is a major problem with the games industry. Okay. It's just not guaranteed at all. I mean, seriously, it's not. Right now, the games industry is one of the most unstable, fluctuating, oddly unbalanced, risky industries to be getting into. Okay. And you might say, it's really weird because maybe 10, 15 years ago, every major AAA studio would pump out a game that was guaranteed to be a hit. It didn't matter if it was Capcom, EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. No matter what game they were pumping out, you knew it was great. You knew it was, oh man, it's good content and I spend my money on it. I'm going to get my value out of it, right? Today, these companies pump out games and everything's a crapshoot. It is. Everything's a gamble. Was it going to be good or not? Today, we're literally going to play a game called Avowed, made by Obsidian, the same people who made Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds. And I have no idea if it's any good. I can't even depend on their previous work. Why? Because the games industry is such a volatile industry. People who worked for a company 5 years ago probably aren't there anymore. The people who made the classic games we remember probably aren't employed by those studios, and those studios making new games aren't representative of the games they used to make. It's a revolving door. People are in and out and in and out and getting thrown around and kicked around and shuffled around constantly in the games industry. So, because of that, this story isn't surprising. Now, is it right? I mean, I would like to think that if you do a really good job at your job, that someone there would recognize it and want to reward you and or keep you on for more further great work. Would they not? But not necessarily. And one thing I think that we do have to realize, all right, is especially these big international companies, they don't feel any kind of responsibility or loyalty to the people who they're paying as outsourced workers at all, right? Think about it. If this company, NetEase, that's based in China, had to actually cut some people, who do you think they're going to cut? The people in the homeland or the people who they outsourced for work that are all the way in America, right? It's pretty obvious to figure this out. It's not rocket science. So, yeah, our industry right now, gaming industry in general, is very, very volatile. Um, it's unfortunate that people lost their jobs. It's unfortunate that now they got to go out there and try to find more work in an already volatile industry. But sadly, it seems like that's just how stuff is going right now, okay, in this industry. And when a new game comes out, all right, and it's unfinished, unpolished, not inspired, seems like it's not as good as a game you played 15 years ago, and you say, why, what changed? This is what changed. The industry model has changed. It used to be everyone was owned by the publisher or the company, and you worked for one of these giant companies that pumped out a game and you had job security. No one has this anymore. Now it's you get hired, you got a deadline, pump out the product, rush your ass, crunch, 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 punch out the product. Oh, look, the product did great. Laid off. Wow. Well, that's a great place to work. Like, who, I mean, honestly, with the way that the industry's going, who in their right mind would want to actually be in the games industry today, right? When you've got CEOs of companies like Phil Spencer saying dumbass things like, oh, our industry's in a slump and that's why we're not selling games. Meanwhile, there's other companies selling games like hotcakes, right? And these are the people in charge of the industry, right? When you've got games that have budgets of hundreds of millions of dollars, employing thousands of employees, and in order to get a chair designed for a scene in your game, you have to go through 4 levels of bureaucracy, and it takes 6 months to get it fucking rendered and developed. Who would want to work in the games industry in 2025? You know? I just I don't get it. I think a major problem that's happened now is games have grown to the point where they're the most profitable entertainment industry in the planet, right? They're bigger than music, bigger than movies, bigger than TV, bigger than everything. Video games are where the profits are, okay? But it grew too fast. If you really think about it, video games existed for a while in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s. They didn't really blow up in popularity and profits until around the 2010s. That's when we started to see games sell in the millions, when we started to see the budgets for games and the staffing of games blow up exponentially. But it happened in so fast of a time, it didn't really scale properly. So now what we have is a problem in the industry where the products being delivered are not equivalent to what's being put into them anymore. It's funny that a game from 15 years ago probably was a better product than what you get today, even though today you have 10 times more money and 10 times more people working on said game. 10 years ago, you didn't have people who were being hired as headhunters. Oh, you just design some stages for us and then get laid off. Not what it was like. It was, oh, I worked for this company. I'm proud to be a part of EA. I'm proud to be a part of this studio that's owned by EA. And we deliver these products and, It's what's our next project? Right away, you're on to the next. We got things in the pipeline. We got things we're working on, right? The games industry has definitely changed and evolved, but is it really for the better? I think perhaps it moved too fast and we didn't have the things in place to make sure that the industry was going to be protected and or not ruined. And now we're seeing the symptoms of that. I mean, how many games come out and you just have no clue if you can even trust if it's going to fucking work, let alone if it's going to be good? Well, there's a problem there, don't you think? That we're all paying $60, $70 to essentially be beta testers, and then we just accept it. Oh, it didn't work at launch. Well, of course it didn't work at launch. But well, I don't have a right to be angry, right? Like the people in charge have pushed the games industry so far in the last 10 years that the games industry can't keep up with what these people want, with the profits they want to generate, right? And the products that the speed they want to push them out. It can't be handled. It can't be the capacity's not there. The skill level isn't there, you know? Especially like this. We hired a company from across the world to do the levels for our game, right? So what level of control did you really have over that, right? Probably not much. And then if they did a good job, shockingly, they did a good job. Oh, well, we don't care about them. Just get rid of them. Well, don't we want to make more stages? Yeah, but fuck them. They made the groundwork, but that's all we needed. Cut the cord, and we'll reap the profits off of their hard work for another decade. It's crazy, you know? So this story is not as it appears because a lot of people sadly are reporting that the entire dev team of Marvel Rivals has lost their jobs. That's not true. The vast majority of people who made Marvel Rivals are in China, but it just so happens that the dev team that did the level design was American based here in Seattle, and they did just lose their jobs instead of getting hired on as full-time employees. And that's unfortunate. It's just, again, a symptom of the industry model right now. You would have hoped that if they did a good job, they would have gotten hired and they would have had long-time employment rather than, oh, go find another job now that your job is done with our game that's making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Anyway, all right. So that's the story, everybody. It's not what it first appeared, but it was definitely worth covering, don't you think? Okay, now I want to be sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I shouted everything out. No, I did miss something. It was Luna the Moth King gifted 2 subs. Thank you to Luna the Moth King who gifted 2 subs to the community while I was telling that story. And therefore, I did not shout it out immediately, but now I can. Thank you, Luna the Moth King. Get that up on the leaderboard here. So FYI, I just so happen to be looking at stats for Kick. And it looks like, sadly, a lot of subs expired in the last couple of days. Like on Kick, I think the most subs I've ever had on Kick was around 800, which obviously is insanely tremendous. And thank you at the peak of the subs I had, it was amazing. Now we're down to under 600. So it would be great if we could get some more subs. For those who are watching on Kick right now, if you want to support the streams, now would be a great time to do so. Please consider subbing to the channel if you're not subbed yet. I appreciate that very, very much. Or if you'd like to give some subs to help out the community. And remember, today, the deal I'm running is for 10 gifted subs, you can earn the VIP badge. And for 25 gifted subs, you can earn the OG badge. And you'll also get the VIP badge if you don't already have it. And then, of course, keep in mind that you can gift those badges to others as well. If you have a friend or someone else, a co-viewer here who you'd like to, be nice to, you could do that as well. Okay? All right. Couple shout outs here. Spider Dijon. Thank you so much, Spider Dijon, for re-upping your membership for a whopping 21 months. Appreciate that. We have Puds, who did $1.75 super chat. Thank you to Puds. What a name. Wait a minute. I screwed. Okay. Hold on a second. Because I was like, wait a minute. Puds. I got this in the wrong spot. Puds should be right here. You're the first super chatter of the day. There we go. I had you in the wrong spot. There we go. And then Gabriel just did a $4 super chat. So now actually Gabriel is the top super chatter. And says, What's up, Phil in chat? Ready for a good day of gaming today? Yeah, I hope, again, I hope Avowed is good. We won't know until we try it today. All right. Cool. And then I got a $2 tip. Shit, I misclicked. I got a $2 tip. Flatman B. Imagine in the 90s if I released a incomplete game and you pay full price, then you'll tell me the problems with it and we use your money to create a patch. It's win-win for them and absurd business practices these days. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Games of the 90s, games of the 2000s, they didn't have patches. What you sold as the game is what you sold as the game, and what's bad is bad forever. It's stuck like that for, eternity. You have no opportunity to fix your mistake. So games of the 90s and the 2000s, before the era of, live updates over the internet, had to be good. Because if you release that game and it sucks, what are you going to do, right? Very rarely did these game devs have opportunity to fix their game after the fact. Um, so it was a different era. It really was. Um, don't you think that the game devs who made Superman 64 would love to go back and fix it so it's not infamous as one of the worst games of all time? Right? But they didn't get that opportunity, right? They weren't allowed to. Okay. Um, so, Dumpy Koala asks, how do you actually do on kick, on average and everything? To be honest, I don't know. I haven't really looked. Like I said, I know for a fact at my absolute highest on kick, which was probably the first month I streamed on kick, I had over 800 subs. It was tremendous. It helped me a ton that month. Okay. Um, but these days it fluctuates greatly. It really does. Like, I think the slowest month I ever had on Kick was December, if I remember correctly. It was a really slow month for me, where I declined a lot. And then in January, it actually picked up a little bit. I feel it goes up and down, and it really depends on a few factors. Factor number one is what I'm doing on stream, what kind of games there are out, what kind of special events I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, in December, there was almost no new games whatsoever, and it was kind of end of the year stale, right? In January, I picked up things a little bit with some of my improvements. I started the commentary show Smart Guys. So because of that, I got a boost, you see? So it really depends. It depends on many different uh various factors, So, but the other thing is, one thing I will emphasize, all right? Because a lot of people say, wow, that you're doing really good on Kick. Well, you're right. I'm not complaining. I am doing good on Kick. But since I started co-streaming on Kick and YouTube, my YouTube revenue has gone way down. Because remember, I used to have all my eggs in one basket. Everything was on the YouTube side. So I actually used to get way more super chats and way more memberships on YouTube than I get today. My memberships are way down on YouTube, and the super chats are very, very dry compared to how they used to be. But that's because a lot of people are going over to Kick and supporting via that way. So listen, I'm not complaining. I'm not on a downward trend at all. All right. To be honest, it's good. The Kick streaming on Kick has helped me tremendously. My average viewership on Kick is increasing, not by a lot, but it is going up. It's on an upward angle. So I feel like if I stay the course on Kick, okay, and I cover all the big new releases, right, and I cover the big events and everything this year, and I always co-stream to Kick, then I can get a foothold over there. Right now, if I only streamed on Kick, I would have hundreds and hundreds of viewers on Kick. But I co-stream, and a lot of people prefer YouTube. To be honest, YouTube gives the better quality. I can do 1440p quality on YouTube. I can't even do that on Kick. It's not even allowed on Kick. So it does suck that they limit the quality of their streams on Kick. Okay. Let's see here. Looks like a troll. It is a troll. Okay. Or the troll. Shout out to I put Gabriel on the leaderboard, correct? Shout out to the Lucky Gremlin, 20 months as a member. Says, think you'll enjoy Avowed. Happy gaming, Phil. Thank you to Lucky Gremlin. That's not a new one. That's just a celebratory message. But thank you, Gremlin, for 20 months of support. To be honest, I hope I like it. Seriously, to be honest, I hope I like it. I hope it's a good game and I enjoy it. We'll see. I've liked the other stuff Obsidian has put out. Excuse me. All right. Well, we've got some extra time. All right. What I will do, let's do our taste test of a random treat, and then we'll just chill for a little bit before we jump into Avowed, shall we? Okay. I have no idea what's in my hand right now. I'm not even looking. Okay. Ready? I'm going to try this. What the hell? This will be interesting. It's nothing like the other stuff we've had yet. Okay. Jasper's checking out the box. Really, Jasper. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our next Turkish treat, which I owe you for hitting the goal yesterday, is cat, tat, tat, puff pastry with a strawberry sauce filling. What? For the record, you would never see this in America. You would never see a puff pastry wrapped inside of a plastic wrapper as if it's a candy bar and sold in this manner. It's just not something that's done here at all. So this is bizarre to me. Puff pastry with a filling. Cat, cat, tat. All right. Let's take a look. Jasper, you silly. I'm giving Jasper a scratch now. That's right. RTU is in shambles. He's eating bugs for 0 subs. I've already got my support, and I eat delicious Turkish treats in celebration of receiving such support. No bugs contained in my strawberry puff pastry. Very good. So I open it up, and it's sticky as shit. What the hell? Oh, it's really sticky? Ew. Why is it completely sticky? Well, I'm gonna have to wash my hand. You know what it is? I can tell you. If you take a look, the strawberry filling oozed out of the top and stuck all over the package. Well, where do you open the package? On the end. So the first thing you do is you put your finger into the gooey stuff that came out. Like, oh, ooh. All right. Well, let's give it a shot. Oh, it smells like a Fruit Newton. Did you ever have a Fruit Newton? That's exactly what it smells like. I wonder if the filling's similar, right? Okay. It does look like a puff pastry, though. Huh. Kind of unique. It is flaky because, like, some flakes are coming off. All right, let's try it. Reminds me of, what's the name of that pastry? A bear claw? What's the pastry that's very flaky and has the sugary topping and they put fruit in it? Sometimes it'll be apple, sometimes it'll be other fruits. God, what's it called? A cruller? It's not bad. It's similar to like a Danish consistency, I would say, but it's very flaky. It tastes almost exactly like a Danish or a strudel, maybe a strudel. Oh no, that's it. James got it. It's a turnover. That's exactly what it's like. It's a turnover consistency, like an apple turnover. But it's not apple. Now it's supposed to be strawberry, but it was very. I think what happened is all the filling came out, so it's like a dry turnover. All right. Oh, hmm. Okay. Crumbs just came down. Hmm. Hmm. I actually like it. I thought I was gonna hate it. I actually like it. I just wish that it had filling. Like the strawberry filling doesn't exist, but it just tastes like a plain turnover with no fruit in it. But it's sweet and it's fluffy and it actually tastes really good. I'm shocked that in candy bar form, they've made a Danish or a pastry that tastes good. I'm gonna eat this whole thing. I wasn't expecting to. I'm gonna eat this whole thing because it's actually really good. Mm, wow. I actually recommend this. So it's called Cat Cat Tat, and it was the strawberry pastry or whatever. This is seriously good. Mm, yummy. 140 calories. There's not even a lot of calories in that. Yeah. The only bummer, I wanted strawberry filling and there really was none. So that's disappointing. Okay. Well, that was good, but I'll forewarn you, if you're going to get that for yourself, man, did it get stuck in my teeth. It totally got stuck in my teeth. Like, oh, it's annoying. So, anyway, that was good. So, that was Cat Cat Tat. And that was called the, I think, strawberry Danish or strawberry pastry. It was good. I just wish it tasted like strawberries. It doesn't. It tastes like just like a generic apple turnover puff pastry, but it actually was delicious. I was shocked it tasted that good to be in like a, a like candy bar wrapper, but to actually be that puffy and taste that good, I'm shocked. I thought it was gonna be disgusting and it was good, so there you go. But you're gonna need something to wash it down because man, it gets stuck in your teeth. Okay. All right, so guys, we got a little bit of extra time at the end of the show here. We've covered the topics I wanted to talk about. Does anyone have stuff they want to discuss before we jump into Avowed? If you want to, get a shout out for a contribution, now would be a good time to do it before we jump into the game. Um, let's see what you guys want to talk about. And by the way, for Avowed, I think because it's an RPG, I'm just going to use the controller. I was thinking about this. I was like, should I use the keyboard and mouse? I was like, I think I need to, right? I think I'm just going to roll with the controller, and that way I can be more relaxed. I could just sit here and kind of lean back and play with the mic here rather than worrying about repositioning everything. Little Debbie is seething. There you go. Any thoughts on who I might try in Fatal Fury? I mean, I'll probably try a lot of characters. I'll probably try the characters who I obviously recognize, like Terry and Mai. I mean, I just used Mai in Street Fighter 6. Why wouldn't I use her in the new one, the new game? But I want to try some new characters too. I think the beta runs all week, right? It's like for a week. So I'm gonna play it tomorrow Thursday. I'm gonna play it Friday night. I'll probably play it like 3, 4 times over the week and maybe try various different characters during those time frames. We'll see. Have I ever been on the dean's list? No, I don't even know what a dean's list would be. Sheesh. Surely I had to listen to the James Rolfe AVGN Balls on the Dick remix. No, I don't know what the hell that is, Papa Zombero. I have no clue what you're talking about. What do I think about them adding Ninja Turtles to Black Ops 6? I mean, I'm not surprised. They would add anything to Black Ops 6. At this point, they probably put the Powder Puff Girls or Powerpuff Girls or Strawberry Shortcake into, you know, or the friggin' uh, Milo Pony, they probably put into Black Ops 6. As long as it made them money, they don't care. I think you get on the dean's list when you maintain a 4.0 GPA for a year. I would if there was a dean's list in high school, I would have been on it then. College, no, because college I stopped giving a shit. So I definitely didn't have a 4.0 GPA. Sylvania says, "Do you think Obsidian is a completely different company now with little to no devs from back in the day of New Vegas?" I don't know. I would assume yes. Like most of these companies, seems like they have completely changed their workforces. So you hear the name and you think, "Oh, it's going to be that," and then you play a game they made and you say, "What the fuck is this?" Right? I just don't think it's the same people anymore. Do I still have the poker chip from the felting I gave RTU? I still have the entire set of poker chips right over here. Hold on one second. My curtains, the Keep in mind, just because I haven't done anything with this since August doesn't mean that I will not use this in the future. This is the set that I used during the Review Tech USA uh, documentary react. There it is. So at any moment, I can pull this sucker out and use it. Maybe I'll react to another documentary at some point, and we'll have to start counting and deducting chips, huh? Just saying. But man, it was perfect for that event, was it not? Absolutely, positively, it was dead on perfect for that event. It was super useful. It was a great prop. Everyone liked it. Okay. Would I consider eating Girl Scout cookies for DSP tries it? Oh, maybe. I guess I would have to uh I guess I would have to figure it out like where could I get them from and what flavors could I get? If I was going to do that, I would try like multiple different flavors of cookies. So, I maybe have to find a Girl Scout troop, they do them around here. I've seen them at local grocery stores and stuff. Maybe buy 3, 4 boxes of them and then try it out. No, Dave, I'm not going to take all the snacks from snack boxes on DSP Reacts and put them onto DSP React. I'm just it's not that serious. No, I haven't been recording them all. I'm not going to go through all my archive streams, um, and be doing that. I'm just not. If you're here for it, great. If you watch it during the podcast, great. But if you miss one, not a big deal, right? It's just not. It's not not that serious. Falcule says instead of Panda Express, what about PF Chang's? I'm fairly certain they're not out here. Yep, not out here. They're not in Washington, so can't do PF Chang's. Yes, I am a fan of Lord of the Rings, the real Lord of the Rings, the books. I read them all way before the movies were ever out. I actually read the original Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit, and I loved the books. Would I ever try Hawaiian dirt cookies? I don't know. Never heard of them. I don't know what they are. Yes, I've swam in the ocean before, and have I been frightened by a fish? No. Big Mac says, "Did I get your contribution?" It looks like Big Mac, you popped your re-up message for having 22 months as a member. That's not a fresh contribution. That's something that already happened in the past. But thank you, Big Mac, for 22 months as a member. He says, "What's your favorite candy or candy bar of all time?" Don't have a favorite. I just love chocolate. So anything that's a variation of chocolate, you know, all these different ones I've liked over the years. Let's see. Hershey's Symphony Bar with the almonds and toffee. Snickers. Three Musketeers. Milky Way. Nestle's Crunch. Okay? Just to name a few off the top of my head that I really like and I would eat at any moment if someone were to say, "Hey, here's one. Would you eat it?" Yes, I would eat all of them. Okay? No, I've never been frightened by a fish. I don't know where this meme is coming from because people in multiple chats are asking me, "Have I ever been frightened by fish?" No, I've never been scared by a fish. What do I honestly think Review Tech should do to improve his life? Nothing. He can't anymore. He is now contracted to work for Keemstar for 5 years. He's fucked his life. He's done. He has to do whatever Keemstar tells him for 5 years. So now he's forced to embarrass himself. Remember, my advice was to go away for the fall, like go away around October through December. Just go away for a few months. Come back in January, refreshed, your mind, off drugs, maybe healthier, rebrand, start over, make positive content. Don't be an idiot or a lol cow, but instead actually try to review tech. Work hard, bust your ass, do the work. Instead, he said, "Oh, I give up. I'll delete my channel and I'll sell everything to Keemstar, and now I'm stuck working for him for 5 years." So he did the absolute opposite wrong thing, and that's that. So there's really no reason to talk about the guy any further because he's basically the least pertinent person on earth at this point. Seriously. Squirt Rock says, I found a React video on YouTube about your playthrough of the 2011 3DS title Super Mario 3D Land. I can't find your gameplay of it. Did you play it on the side? Super Mario 3D Land? Super Mario 3D Land. Yup. I played it on the side. I did not do a playthrough of it. At that time, I did not have an ability to capture from a portable game system. So I played it on my 3DS and I just did a review, but I did not record any of the footage. I totally remember it now. Okay. Do they have the food chain Saucy by KFC where I live? Never heard of it, so I guess not, or I haven't seen it. Okay. Let's see. Did I have a favorite character? Did I read the Similarian? No, I don't have a favorite character. Well, it sucks that certain characters were completely removed from the movies, like Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo, Tom Bombadillo. Ho, ho, ho. If you read the books, you know what I'm talking about. The Similarian, no. I basically, or it's not Similarian, it's Cimmerillion, right? No, I had it, but I skimmed through it. What the Cimmerillion is, it's a supplemental content book that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote as a way to have side lore and explanations for things that people didn't fully understand in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's kinda like an encyclopedia of side knowledge that you can reference to get things in the universe, but I never got into it so far, um, at all to really research it that much. So, I had it, but I never really did anything with it. Okay. Who's my favorite movie and comic villain? Ugh. I really hate okay, I'm gonna be honest, I hate when people say, "What is your favorite? What is your top? What is your best?" I literally don't rank things like that. I know for some reason a lot of people do. They always do things in extremes or whatever. I don't. I really don't. I don't have a favorite villain. Don't. You know? Uh, Here, a villain from my childhood that I remember from time to time, and I can think of every lyric of a song that they sang. Scar from The Lion King. Okay? There you go. Is it my favorite villain? No. But it's a villain that I remember. It's a villain that's very memorable for me because that was my favorite animated movie of all time. And I remember the musical numbers were like standouts, right? Um, but I just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that way. I don't think in extremes at all. I never really have. So when people say those things to me, like, who's your favorite? Who's your least favorite? What game would you bring on a deserted island with you? None. None. Because I get bored of things over time. It wouldn't matter if it's my favorite of all time. If I play it too much, I'm going to get bored of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have these absolute thinking. I guess a lot of humans do. I don't think in absolutes at all. What's my favorite question I've ever been asked? That one right there. That's my favorite. What's my favorite Batman movie? The original 1989, was it? Batman by Tim Burton. And then second place after that would probably be Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. And then after that, might actually be Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And then after that, maybe one of the Nolan movies. There you go. And then after that, maybe the Adam West Batman movie. That was funny. Asia just can't get rid of a bomb. What character from the Street Fighter franchise do I think has a similar personality of mine? Akan. Because number one, I'm a family man just like him. Number two, because we have equal builds and we're ripped. And number three, we like covering our bodies from head to toe in Turkish oil on a regular basis. Is that what I put in my hair? Yes. Pure Turkish oil. I just pop open a cask and I go, oh, I hit my mic when I do it too. I go, I smash my mic and I go, and I walk out on stream. Perfect. It's great. It's how I do it every day. What brand is my keyboard and mouse for PC gaming? Logitech. This is the, hold on. G19, no, G915 TKL Lightspeed Wireless RGP mechanical gaming keyboard. And I forget, they have different styles. And I forget which one I picked. This isn't the clicky keys. This is the other one. It's not the ultra soft and it's not the hard click. There's like, I think it's called tactile. So that's this keyboard. That's the one I use for gaming. And it's the light speed, which means it's the absolute lowest latency possible for wireless. So it's good for gaming. It doesn't give you input delay. Okay. And then for the mouse, I have the G705 mouse. I believe it's called the Hero mouse. And it's also light speed, meaning the absolute lowest amount of delay for gaming. So I have absolutely no input delay with my mouse or my keyboard. It's exactly the same as if they were plugged in. There you go. I'm reviewing tech in the USA. I've never played a Pillars of Eternity game, no, so I don't know anything about that. Okay. Well, I just did a much more and better tech review than Rich did for the last few years. There you go. There you go. All right, guys, I think we should adjourn because I know you guys actually do want to see the game today. So I don't think that we should have a super elongated podcast. I want to say thanks to those who did early support. We're already a third to our goal. Please, for the premiere of a new game today, let's hit the goal. Let's get to 18. If you remember, my goal is I want to have ESP Tries It, Shamrock Shake, and McDonald's by Thursday at the latest. I want to have it either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Any of those days would fit perfectly into my schedule because those are days when my wife is working, and it's good that we could eat one of those days and she doesn't have to cook. Okay? So please consider one of those days. Please hit those goals. Let's do it. Let's hit a goal right now as we start up the game. Fair enough? All right, guys, thank you so very, very much. I hope that you enjoyed today's show. Happy belated Valentine's Day. I should probably take that out of the rotation. And thanks for watching. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about what I thought about a vow. We're going to talk about how smart guys went and any other gaming news. It should be a great show. I want to say thank you for a good one this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for another awesome episode of the Level 1 Podcast.